Hi, this is James Shug at Westpac's London office with the end of day report for Monday the 6th of August. Another positive day on equity markets with not much economic data to report, but some favourable developments in Europe in particular that have enabled markets to maintain their optimism that we're about to see some pretty significant policy developments within a fairly short period of time. And I'm talking, of course, there about the ECB in conjunction with European governments following through on the plan that was laid out in some very broad detail by the ECB President Draghi last Thursday. The German government apparently is not worried by the bond buying program that was proposed by Draghi. That's according to a spokesman for Chancellor Merkel. In Greece, after 2 weeks of negotiations and meetings, the troika of EU, IMF and ECB officials that are examining Greece's compliance with the conditions of its bailout have adjourned, but have agreed that they've agreed on the need to strengthen policy efforts to achieve its objectives. Now, that means they haven't said no, Greece won't get the next tranche of bailout funds, and talks are going to resume in September. Now, this tranche was originally meant to be paid back in June, so this is a long drawn out issue, but at least a decision in the negative still hasn't been made, and that's helped markets along as well. Back to that Merkel thing too, it's pretty significant that the German government is backing Draghi on this. It shows that the initial support for his "we'll do whatever it takes" comments the week before last from Merkel and others really was genuine. And I think that there's a growing sense of optimism that Draghi will be able to pull it off. Whether or not that's justified remains to be seen, but that's the vibe today. Now, in contrast, the Euroland's Centix investor sentiment survey fell to a new post the 2009 recession low, but it only fell slightly. Now, this survey was taken between the 2nd and the 4th of August, so that was Thursday and Saturday of last week, when markets were collapsing initially on Draghi's comments and then rebounding when they realised that maybe what he said made some sense. So it's unclear how clear a reading that really is. But certainly it didn't deteriorate sharply. In fact, the expectations component improved somewhat. It was just that was offset by further deterioration in the current measure. There were some decent earnings reports for sort of secondary type companies in the US, and commodity prices were higher. That saw companies like BHP and Rio do pretty well on the London market, and that was about it for the day. So the numbers, just ahead of the European close. The FTSE's up 0.6%, the German market up 0.9%, the French market also up 0.9%, and another 4% gain on the Spanish market, and the Italians up 1.5%. The Dow heading into the US lunchtime is up just under 0.6% at 13,169. Commodity markets, we've got the copper price up 0.25%. Crude oil is also up 0.25% at $91.65 a barrel, and gold is up about 1/3% at $1,615 an ounce. The Aussie dollar at 1.059 against the US dollar has been climbing today, with equity market sentiment positive and commodities kind of positive too. We've got the Reserve Bank of Australia announcing its August rate decision today, Sydney time. That's not expected to show any change in rates. Stephen seems to have made that pretty clear that he's not going to countenance another rate cut unless things turn weaker domestically or there's another further crystallisation of global downside risks. And we don't see that having happened yet. We've got jobs numbers coming up later in this week. They will be worth watching with regards to that domestic perspective. At Westpac, we still think there will be further rate cuts, though not until later this year. That's it. Back same time tomorrow.